The looks are there. These shots are clean. They are wide open in a lot of cases, and they're just not going down right now. That was a real part of where they thought that they could grow this year, that he would come in after being around a year, know the system, know what to do. Buddy's gotten his looks. They just haven't gone down yet. If they continue to go like that, Dibs, I think Buddy could be either somewhere else or not seeing the floor much moving forward. Let's take a deep breath and look at the schedule. Look at the schedule. They go on this trip. You go Philly, Cleveland, and Chicago. You get one of those. You feel fine. And then you get back. They have all kinds of time in between games. You're going to get Steph back. And then look at January and look at April. Mm-hmm. They're just not really on the road that much. So I absolutely expect Mike Dunleavy to tweak the roster a little bit between now and the trade deadline. We all see what the flaws are. There are plenty of different layers to get into, as there always are with this team, but they still have Steph. We've seen Jimmy play at a very, very high level. Draymond's still Draymond defensively and has been awesome on that side. And you just let the schedule play out a little bit more. I think anybody who's hitting the panic button right now needs to take a deep breath, look at the way the schedule lines up here soon and at the end of the year, and I don't think they're going to fall in as big of a hole as we're used to seeing them in the last couple of years compared to where they ultimately land. And, Mark, to me, it's going to be in that top 6 somewhere when all is said and done at the end of the regular season.
And even if it's top 8, I don't think it could possibly be below top 10 because the bottom of the West is so pathetic, and the Clippers 5-15. Misery loves company, and they've got some down there. So isn't that one other thing, Nick, that should give Warrior fans a little bit of a boost is knowing that the West from 11 through 15 is god-awful.
Everything will be okay in the short term and into potentially the playoffs. Now, do you think this team can legitimately win one more title? That's a much tougher argument, especially given how we've seen the first 20 or so games open up here. But when you look at the rest of the West, it's like looking at the back of the East on the other side. It's terrible. I don't think the product, the NBA regular season product, is very good. We've talked about this a lot. I think it's worth repeating as you look at the standings. The bottom of these conferences, it's terrible basketball. That game against New Orleans was a terrible basketball game throughout most of it. The Warriors won, good for them. But you'd want to see it be a little tighter on both sides. That was ugly. But as far as the Warriors go and that record goes, it will even itself out. You get healthy, you make a move or two at the deadline, and you feel like you still have a chance to make a little bit of a push here. And you get Steph back, and as usual, he will right everything that seems a little bit rocky right now.
Hey, Nick, let's go back to your comment that we all see the flaws, and I'm sure Mike Dunleavy will tweak this roster. Can you put that into words for us? What are the flaws, and what kind of things do you see him doing?
Well, I think we've already started to see it in much smaller ways because, Mark, what does this team need desperately? They need shooting. And so here comes Seth Curry, who shot it 45% from beyond the arc last year. He's going to get a chance to produce. There was a reason Steve Kerr said, yeah, he'll be active. Seth has been waiting in the wings, trying to keep himself healthy and ready to roll, and he's going to get a chance to show what he can do. What else do they need? They need people to create off the dribble. I mean, how many times do you watch this team and you go, what is happening out there? You know, without Steph, especially on the floor, Jimmy can still dominate when he needs to, but he doesn't seem to want to impose his will the same way as he's done earlier in his career. I think part of that is he's 36 years old. You know, it's just at a different time. People will laugh when they hear this, but I think LJ Cryer is going to get a chance to show what he can do at some point because the guy can shoot the hell out of the ball. I mean, they need people to get going offensively. And it's why, and again, Steve Kerr has talked to you guys about this several times throughout the year already. It's why when you point to the flaws or what's going on, you hear Draymond and Jimmy go, oh, the defense. The defensive numbers look okay. It looks like they can hang in there. They have got to push the pace. get to the rim and create open looks for each other. That has been more of a struggle. So as far as what that looks, Mark, going into the next month or so, the name that is going to continue to hover at the front of everything is the same name that we've been talking about for 3 months now. It's Kuminga. What happens with Kuminga? We're going to see. But when he came back, and you've got to give him a little bit of a break because he missed 7 games. He just didn't look like himself out there, but he's taking threes. And you're going, that's not really your shot. You need him to get to the rim and to make the extra pass and get the rebounds, all the things that the coaching staff kept talking about early in the year. If he doesn't fill that kind of role where he's making a difference in a variety of areas, maybe he is the piece that you slide off somewhere else and you bring in guys who can help. But what this team needs right now, especially without Steph on the floor, is guys who can create and generate offense. And that has been a struggle for them early in the year.
You watch this team as closely as anybody. What's the story with Buddy Hield and what's felt like a long, prolonged shooting funk?
Mr. Dibbs, he's just not hitting open shots. He's going to get plenty of opportunities, at least in the very short term. But this goes back to, truly, here comes Seth Curry, who you know can hit open threes, and LJ Cryer, a G League guy who's going to get a chance. Somebody's going to get a chance to knock down shots. Buddy has had plenty of chances early this year to knock down open threes. I think that's the scariest part for the Buddy Hields. Quinn Post comes to mind as well. Draymond keeps shooting these threes. They're not going down.
Oh.
He's capable. I mean, same with Kuminga. The thing that would terrify me if I were a Warriors fan, but specific to your point about Buddy Hield in this case, is the looks are there. This is not, all right, well, he's forcing up these shots and Quentin Post is forcing up these shots from somewhere else. And no. I mean, these shots are clean. They are wide open in a lot of cases, and they're just not going down right now. If you're Buddy Hield and you see the roster changes, let's say, that are taking place already right now, and you're not continuing to take advantage of the open looks that you got, you could have a problem rotationally. And again, we'll see what happens at the deadline. But that was a real part of where they thought that they could grow this year, that he would come in after being around a year, know the system, know what to do. Buddy's gotten his looks. They just haven't gone down yet. If they continue to go like that, Dibbs, I think Buddy could be either somewhere else or not seeing the floor much moving forward.
It's interesting we're having this conversation, Nick, because just after that game, which was very ugly, especially from 3 for a period of time, after the game, Steve Kerr said he sees the Warriors as a very, very good outside shooting team. Do you agree with that in theory?
On paper, Mark, yeah. I think that there's a point to that, but I'd also tell you, and you guys have talked to Steve just as long as I have for years and years, there's a reason a lot of times that Steve Kerr says what he says publicly. He wants to pump up his team. I've noticed it a lot. I'll give you a prime example. There's actually 2 that come to mind. Who has Steve praised publicly as much as anybody early in the year? And very clearly, the praise hasn't matched the production on the floor. To me, that's Brandon Podziemski.
Yeah.
Steve has gone out of his way repeatedly to say Podz is one of our most trusted young players. We know he's a very good player. We know he can be very good for us in the future. Podz just struggled early on, but there's a reason that he is pushing that out publicly, because he wants Podz to see it, to hear it, and to say, hey, we've got your back. We believe in you. I'll give you the example of Kuminga as well. When Kuminga was playing well, nobody publicly was giving him more praise than Steve Kerr. Every day, it seemed, since basically when Kuminga got into camp, Kuminga really looks good. He looks like he's worked on his game. When the game started and he was playing well, he is doing all the little things that we need him to do. And he's doing those things, and we couldn't be happier with where he's at. He had earned his place in the starting lineup. So, Mark, I would bring it back around and saying, I think that the talent is there. the production just hasn't matched the talent that we've seen. If it does not change, it's another move that Mike Dunleavy is going to have to face, because you can have all the talent in the world on paper and in a box score, but when you continue to watch the games and guys like Hield and Podz and Moody, I throw his name in there, are not making open threes, well, you got a problem, and you can't keep giving those minutes to guys that aren't getting the job done. So things could change roster-wise, and again, we see what the flaws are, but I think I agree with Kerr's point in principle in that these guys have the talent to do it. They just haven't done it yet that we've seen.
Yeah, second to most threes per game attempted, but I think 14th in three-point percentage. So it's not matching up. And do you get to a point now, Nick, where Seth comes in and Melton gets healthy, and here comes Steph, and you mentioned Cryer from the G League, and Grandy asked Coach about him, and he was a little sheepish about, really putting too much into it. But are we past the point now where it's time to start finding a 10-man rotation and just rolling with those guys who can do it?
Mr. Dibbs, the best answer right here is whoever shoots well and hits those open looks is going to play. And I'm glad you mentioned Melton, because I think he can really help. I think Melton, if he stays healthy, if he can be out there and he can hit open threes or open jumpers and defend well, he's going to play. If Seth comes in and starts knocking down shots from the outside, he's going to play. Cryer, if he gets his chance at some point, he didn't play that much in the preseason, but he was absolutely lighting up the G League offensively. If he gets his chances and he knocks down shots, he will play. So to your point, absolutely it's time. It's past time. Kerr's the one that said, I want to look at it after about 20 games, get everything set, know what the starting lineup's going to be, know who's coming off the bench in what places. The problem when you look at this team, and there are many because they're a 500 team and have been up and down all year, is the consistency. And I'd say to Draymond and Jimmy's point, there's problems defensively where you look like they're just kind of going through the motions sometimes, but problems offensively where they're getting some of the looks they need and they're just not going down. So anybody who plays well outside of Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, because we know who they are, we know they're Hall of Famers, we know what they're going to be. If you are playing well, Steve Kerr is going to ride the hot hand. But we are way past the point of, it should be time. Kerr's the one that said it would have been time, but guys have not shown consistently that they have been out there enough to do what they need to do. I think the one guy I'm keeping an eye on, guys, another name we haven't even mentioned, which is hilarious given all the different issues the Warriors do have. The guy I think he's going to go to a little bit more right now and see if he can be that consistent guy is Will Richard. He's been in the starting lineup, but he hasn't played that much. When you watch Will Richard, he knows where to be on the floor. Can he, as a second-round pick, as a rookie, maintain that over the course of the next couple months? We're going to see. But again, the point is the same. If you produce and you hit your open looks, you are going to find time in this rotation.